Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today I wanted to take a look at the future of Johnny Depp, within the foreseeable future at least. He's been through quite a rough patch over the past few years, had a lot of trouble with his now ex, whose name we should not mention because apparently YouTube flags videos that mention her name in a certain capacity. Been dropped by a lot of companies that he used to be able to work for, and so I thought it might be interesting because I'm noticing a shift to see if we can find out what's going to be next for Johnny Depp. So I have here a couple of decks. The first one is the tattoo art deck, which is like this, very pretty. And if we have any other questions, which you always do, we're going to go on to the Modern Witch Tarot, which is this one. You may have seen those plenty of times on my channel because I use it quite often. What I also often do on my channel is explain that I am an intuitive reader, meaning that whatever I see in the cards I'm going to tell you, and if you see something else, then make sure to leave that in the comment section below as well so we can have a little discussion or at least an exchange of some sort. I'm just going to go shuffle the cards and I'll be right back once I have a whole bunch of cards for us to take a look at. So here we go. Alright, we got quite a nice collection over here, starting off with the Empress, which is self-care, making sure to take good care of yourself. Definitely gonna need some of that to recover, particularly after all the stuff that we heard about what's been going on anyway. And Death over here is to signify the end of an era, which is also followed by a Three of Cups in reverse, which is basically falling out with friends, basically cutting people out of your life. But it's followed by the Star, which I keep saying basically, sorry about that, which means that he will definitely rise again. Even though certain people have left him behind, like, oh, I don't want to associate with you anymore. Certain companies have dropped him. That doesn't mean that his star is about to sink below the horizon. Next to that, we have the Knight of Coins, which is somebody who definitely brings opportunities and who definitely is patient and going to bring in some new resources. So that's positive news. Over here we have the Emperor as well, and when this card came out I felt like somebody in the world that he tends to find his jobs in, so in Hollywood or something along those lines, advertising, whatever it is that actors tend to do when they don't actually have a movie to play in, is going to take a look at Johnny and go, you know what, I think we need him for our project. And this is going to be somebody who's fairly influential. It's going to bring quite a lot of good times with him, at least a lot of influence. We do have here the High Priestess in reverse. Whoops, almost dropped her. That's almost like an avoiding looking deeper into this self. Like High Priestess, usually you need to go inside, need to meditate, see what you are like on the inside and try to fix that. But in this case it's in reverse and might mean that he's going to postpone that. Well, it is followed by the Ace of Cups. I'm just gonna... Oops. Which can be a new relationship, but it can also be dealing with new emotions, perhaps being overwhelmed by emotions, because you do see the droplets falling out of the cup is running over, and there's some doves down here, which also, at least they look like doves to me. It seems to me like making peace with certain people, perhaps. Maybe the High Priestess in this sense is letting go of certain things that have been brewing inside so that you can make peace. Like probably a lot of people have said some very bad things over the years, without thinking. Perhaps that's also referenced by the High Priestess being reversed, but that might be patched up. And we see here the Knight of Swords in reverse as well. And Knight of Swords is usually somebody who, at least the energy of the Knight of Swords, not Knight of Swords, is somebody saying something hastily. And since it's reversed, I believe this is choosing your words carefully. Like they're going to approach and say, hey, you know what, all those things I said, all the things I did in the past, sorry about that, didn't mean that. I thought that this was happening, I thought that was happening, and that's why I acted rashly. And it is followed by Temperance, so that makes a lot of sense. Temperance, of course, being the card that asks to balance your emotions and your thoughts, balance your actions, basically find that balance after a time of imbalance, quite literally. And the next one is the Six of Wands, which is kind of like a victory card, like usually a deck with more pictures than this, like people on it, I guess you would say. It would show somebody sitting on a horse who is triumphantly riding among a bunch of other people that are cheering them on. So that's basically the coming home from battle, victorious type of energy here. So after this whole lineup of somebody giving them a shot, people are going to come out of the woodworks to try and patch things up. And then he's going to come out victorious. Over here we have the King of Wands in reverse, and that means no hasty action. So everything else that happens beyond that point is going to be very deliberate. King of Swords does know what he wants. Why am I saying swords? It's wands. King of Wands knows what he wants, and he's going to set about that very carefully. May occasionally make a misstep or perhaps choose some opportunities that were not necessarily for him, but since he is the king, of course, he will get more opportunities and more actions that he'll take. Let's see if we can find anything about this emperor over here, and maybe also some other things on the Ace of Cups and this little lineup over here, like who is coming back. But let's first start with the emperor. Who is that? Who is offering opportunities over here? Knight of Swords is back once again reversed, so it is somebody who chooses the words carefully in general. We have also here the Eight of Cups, which is somebody who's walked away or is currently in the process of walking away. So this is somebody who's kind of outside of the main loop. There are a few people that come to mind in that regard. I'm not really sure if I want to start mentioning names, probably not a good idea, but it's somebody who's very careful with the words, at least speaks very deliberately, I would say. Maybe also has a lot of wordplay. Oh, Temperance is back. They're kind of giving me the same cards again. So it's also somebody who's very even-tempered, which may also be why they decide to side with Johnny after all. So somebody who's even-tempered, has walked away from certain things in the past, and also speaks very carefully. Can we find out any more? Oop, that one just jumped out, and this one too. Okay. This is the Star, so they are definitely very well known as well, and they may also recognize that Johnny is a star, so they might be like, hey, we're a pretty good match. I have here the Ten of Swords in reverse, which is normally like a worry type of thing, like a darkness before the dawn perhaps, and sometimes I also read it as not being able to see the dawn, but I'm thinking in this case it's more somebody who's been through that dark night of the soul already and knows exactly what that's like, and therefore can kind of connect. Okay, let's see about the opportunity then that this emperor will offer. Can find anything about that. Oh, relax. Knight of Wands. Okay, so they will be wanting to get a move on very quickly. So this will definitely not take a lot of time. Once the emperor has made himself known, it's going to be almost like in a hurry to get stuff done. King of Wands is back in reverse a second time, so perhaps the King of Wands that we saw earlier was not Johnny, but this person as well. Somebody who takes deliberate action, knows what they want, have their eye on a prize, and really want to get stuff done. We have two wands right next to each other, so that's a lot of fire energy. They're very much focused. Also, the King of Wands, I can see, has a certain Aries energy, so maybe it's an Aries. Somebody in a fire sign in any case. Whoopsie, that's a lot of fire energy right there. Okay, so let's take a look what we got. Ace of Wands in reverse. Okay, so that's again a much wand energy over here, but this one's kind of like reverse, so maybe the first attempt at doing something will not go quite as planned, or it might not be an opportunity that he ever considered that he would have, but once it's here, once again, it is going very quickly. We've got nothing but wands energy right now. Eight of Wands is also a reference to online, like virtual conversations, social media perhaps. Perhaps playing a part in this. Let's see what we got over here. Nine of Swords in reverse. We've seen this already. Well, Ten of Swords actually, but once again reversed. Internal worry, perhaps. Maybe he'll be a little worried about this new opportunity, and this is probably Johnny, like, okay, this seems, it's all going very fast. Is this a good idea? That might also be the Ace of Wands reversed as well, like, oh wait, slow down a little bit, I want to think about these things. That might be Johnny worrying about that. Page of Pentacles might occasionally, oh, this might be pointing at something else actually. This is like losing finances, or at least it's not a huge loss in finances, because the page is kind of like a quick adolescent energy. They tend to also spend very quickly. They can also lose very quickly, usually not huge amounts, but we do see here that the 3 is a crown sword is here. So maybe somebody, once these opportunities start to roll, will start to try and interfere with that. That's what I'm seeing with these two. Maybe we can figure out who's interfering. Go back to our tattoo art deck. Who is causing this interference? 3 coins in reverse. I think that's people who still don't want to work with him for whatever reason. So there's going to be interference there. And then we have here the 7 of Swords, which is deceit type of thing, manipulation. So maybe somebody's actually going to try and cause some trouble with this new opportunity. Like what I'm seeing over here is he's got an opportunity from the Emperor over here, and that really sees his star quality, and who has already faced this Dark Knight of the Soul, which we saw in a few other cards that are currently being covered. And then there's going to be people who want to kind of throw a spanner in the works to try and break that off, because the 3 of coins is like almost like a work thing, work related, cooperations with certain people. 3 of Swords is indicating that somebody is going to try and get in between. So these two together is like there's somebody's going to interfere with the job opportunity. Won't be the Emperor though, because he's the one that's going to be offering it, but who will it be? Okay, let's see what we got. 10 of coins in reverse. Somebody who's definitely lost a thing or two. Also 7 of cups in reverse. Somebody who sees no other options, because usually 7 of cups upright is having dreams and aspirations and having so much choices that you can't even really make a choice. In reverse, I'm seeing this somebody who is kind of stuck in an emotional rut. And also we have here the 10 of coins in reverse, somebody who has kind of lost things already and doesn't see much of a retirement ticket or a lunch ticket in their future. Like somebody who's kind of jealous. That's what these two cards together seem to say. It's somebody who's jealous of the fact that he is still a star, and they kind of don't want people to continue to see him as such. That's what I'm seeing over here. Anything else in general that we want to add to the reading? Not from this one. Let's check the other one again. Whoops, that one wants to say a lot. Sometimes the deck doesn't want to say anything, and then you get this from the other one. But I don't think all of these cards are needed, so we're going to shuffle these separately. Restore a little bit of balance over here. There we go. Those 3. Okay. This one came up first. This is a 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is kind of like the opposite story of the person who's trying to get in the way. They're the one who are going to be losing a bunch of money and don't have much to look forward to. And it looks as though Johnny has the exact opposite happening for him. So he is going to be seeing more wealth. And 3 of Cups is still in reverse. So this actually means that there are definitely going to be people who are going to remain very negative about working with him. And the last card we have here is the Moon. So there are definitely hidden elements as well, because the Moon tends to point towards secrets. So there might be people trying to do something in the background, behind the scenes perhaps, that might last for quite a long time. Because if you look at the card as well, there's these 2 people that are completely fascinated by the huge spectacle that is this gigantic super moon. And in the background, you see this one in the water with her little claw hand coming out, like it's going to hit when you're least expecting it. So make sure to always check behind your shoulder and maybe try to get some info on people, see what's happening, because they may not be truthful. At least some of them might not be. It's unfortunate, but I do see that we do have a lot of positive things coming at least. And even though there are always going to be people who are going to try and get in the way, ultimately he's still the star and he will definitely land on his feet. That's what I'm seeing for the future of Johnny Depp. Hope you found that interesting. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. And also if you have any reading suggestions, leave those in the comment section below as well. I'll add them to the list. Either way, thanks for watching and bye bye for now.